Hello, welcome back to Life on the Fringe. Today we are doing a special Valentine's Day episode. We're going to be looking at our relationship advice in lead up to Valentine's Day. Because Valentine's Day is about making relationships better and reminding us what love is all about. Except that's not really what it's about. If you want to know the origins of Valentine's Day, you can click up here. I did a deep dive into why we celebrate it, how it started, and how it became a romantic holiday, and it may not be what you think. So now I'm going to be offering my unsolicited opinion. It's not I don't have any qualifications, but I am married. Stan is with me, so he can provide his perspective on these topics as well. The first one is how to ask my boyfriend to stop spending on me politely. Boyfriend keeps buying me things and it makes me feel materialistic. How to ask him to stop without hurting his feelings. This is 20-year-old female, boyfriend, 21-year-old male, keeps buying me stuff and I wouldn't mind it if it was on occasions, but it's a regular thing and it kind of makes me feel like a sugar baby. He already pays for all of our dates, parentheses, wouldn't let me pay at all from day one. And I'm okay with that, but he randomly shows up with gifts. I mean, they're really thought out ones, like, hey, you mentioned you like reading, so I got you a bookmark. It was a very expensive one. Or, hey, you said you liked pink, so I got you pink Nikes. You like jewelry, so I got you earrings. Buys me clothes regularly. Hey, I saw this and I thought it would look nice on you. To the point where he bought me a ring on his birthday. I really like the gesture, but I feel very materialistic when I keep receiving them. He has a lot more money than I do, runs his family business while I'm just trying to make it out of college, look for proper jobs. Before I went into a relationship with him, I had a few mutual friends kind of label me a gold digger in a very subtle manner. And I think that's what's been stuck in my mind every time he gets me something. And my boyfriend has also had a few encounters with the said mutual friends, and they labeled him a show-off. They invited him to drink at their house, and he showed up with a beer of his choice, the expensive ones, and he also bought some booze for them. They took it personally, so they didn't need him flaunting his money and asked him to take the booze back.
Wow.
I know where he comes from, and I know him enough to know that his love language is spending money on others, and he never does it in a malicious way, but he's been misunderstood a lot of times for it, so I'm really in two minds about how I should approach it without hurting his feelings. I've approached the topic subtly, but he always says he has a few more important people in his life, and all he wants is to keep them happy. I told him repeatedly all I want is his time and love, but he butts back with, don't I have the right to buy my girlfriend stuff? It's a long post.
There's a lot going on here. First of all, the mutual friends. I want to start there. They seem very judgmental.
Yeah.
It seems like you can't win with them. Either if you're with someone who's richer, you're a gold digger. If you are rich, then you're a show-off. What happens if you're both poor? What, lazy? I don't know.
I just feel like, at least in my experience, if my friends are hosting me, I'll try to bring something. Or I'll at least ask, hey, should I bring anything for the group? So I don't see why they were so hurt by the
beer.
By bringing beer. That's a very normal thing to do at another event.
Yeah. And so it was expensive beer, I guess. Wasn't he sharing it though? Or was it bring your own beer?
It was BYOB, it seemed like. And so he brought beer for himself, but then he also brought extra beer. To share. I just don't feel like that's showing off.
It depends on the way that it's done.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. But,
right. If he's flaunting the beer and
look how great this is, your guys' beer sucks.
Yeah. My dad got this exclusively from, I don't know, Provence or something.
Yeah, but in general, I feel like that's a very normal thing to do.
Yeah.
Is to bring, especially a beverage, over. You know what I mean?
For their relationship, did it mention how long they've been together for?
I don't think so. No, it didn't say.
if they've been together for a while, and like she was talking about their love language and stuff like that, then I think they've talked about this kind of stuff before. But if this was a new relationship, I might be a little concerned by the spending, because it might be like trying to really impress her with the cash that he owns, and then it just kind of like evaporates once they become more serious. But it sounds like this is a pretty consistent behavior.
Yeah, I guess for me, like with love languages, part of it is I feel like maybe that would be a good way to go about saying you would rather have more time and money, you know, because, or more time than money, and like quality time. But giving gifts is a valid love language, and as long as he's meeting your love language needs, but that's like his go-to way of expressing affection, I kind of get where he's coming from, where it's like, let me show you I care. But maybe you put like a budget on it. Like if it really makes you feel uncomfortable and you're in a long-term relationship, you want to find a compromise where you don't feel like you're being spoiled. But if you feel like you're being spoiled because of your mutual friends calling you like a sugar baby and stuff, see if that's like their issue or if that's something you actually feel.
Right.
Some of these do seem over the top. Like if you're buying somebody jewelry all the time
on your own birthday for somebody else.
Yeah, that's like a little weird.
But it's his love language too, you know? So like the birthday thing I can rationalize is like he wanted to make her feel really good for his birthday.
And in fairness, I do the same thing with my friends for St. Nick's Day. I throw a party and like for a holiday that nobody else celebrates in my friend group but me, and I get them all gifts.
Right.
So I do, if that's what he wants to do for his birthday, I feel like that's fine. But like randomly getting like jewelry and stuff all the time, I could see how. So maybe instead you could suggest like setting that money aside for like your future. Like Stan and I put money aside from the beginning of our relationship, like once it was serious for our wedding. You could maybe, if he wants to like spend money on you that way, he could just put money in like an account for like a future thing, whether it's a wedding or a house or a car, a vacation.
Yeah, that's another thing to consider is how much is this impacting them financially. It sounds like he's pretty well off with whatever business he's running. Right,
so if he can afford it and everything, then I don't know that it matters as much. But again, it's like if it makes you uncomfortable, you should say something and try to work out a way that he can still like give gifts. Like I said, maybe a budget, like you can get me like gifts that are under $10, And then they're still thoughtful. You can get a bookmark. You can get like even earrings at the Dollar Tree. You just have to be more creative with your gift giving.
Yeah, most of my concern with this one stems from the friends. It seems like she's insecure based off of how they act. But the beer example is like he's just living his life and like she accepts him for who he is. So why is she posting? Because the friends got in her head.
Yeah, maybe. Although I can see a scenario where like if you're being treated all the time to everything and then on top of that you're getting like big gifts, feeling uncomfortable because you can't pay it back.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if he gets her these really expensive earrings and Nike gym shoes just whenever.
But she didn't say that, did she?
Yeah, he said Nike gym shoes. Like
no. I mean, did she say that she's uncomfortable having to pay him back sometime, or like?
I don't think he expects her to, but I feel like that could be part of the insecurity about being a sugar baby, because that's an inequity and it's a power imbalance to have one person be more financially stable than you. So when you add on top of that like extra gifts that aren't necessary, it only like exacerbates the power dynamic and the power imbalance. And so you can never, it could lead, like the big problem is it could lead to you feeling indebted. I don't think that she's at that point, but that would be my red flag, is if someone's constantly giving gifts and you tell them not to, but they continue to do it, and then you start feeling indebted because you want to give equally as nice gifts and you can't afford it, that's when it becomes a problem. Next topic. Boyfriend has a new female friend and they hang out by themselves. Me, a 22-year-old female, and my boyfriend, a 25-year-old male, have been together for almost 2 years. Before we started dating, he already had a good female friend that I'm totally okay with and met a few times. And since they already knew each other for a long time, they see each other only from time to time. 1 or 2 months ago, he found a new female friend who is a student at the college we both attend. I'm not against the idea of him finding new female friends in general, but I do feel suspicious of their friendship because they see each other quite regularly, about once a week, and I currently only see him once a week as well. They only live 1 minute apart. And they exclusively meet in the evenings or at nighttime by themselves in either of their apartments while drinking alcohol and watching a movie on a couch or the bed. I told him that I'm uncomfortable with him doing that, and I'd feel much safer if they met during the daytime or at another place that isn't either of their apartments. However, he refuses to compromise and accused me of having trust issues. He claims they can only meet up in private places because she has serious issues that he wants to listen to and help with, and they're apparently serious enough that I'm not allowed to know about them. Keep in mind that they haven't known each other for a long time, and that he doesn't do that with either of his other friends, male or female. This is hard for me because I am very protective of my friendships, and I would not respond well to being told who I can and can't be friends with. That would be a deal breaker for me in a relationship. I feel like here are my concerns. On the side of the boyfriend first, and then I'll do the side of the girlfriend. In the boyfriend's defense, I do feel like that it's okay for, and she agrees, that it is okay for him to have female friends and for them to hang out by themselves. I also don't necessarily agree with how she wants to limit where they hang out and like when.
Right.
Like they can't hang out at night. I feel like most people are free in the evenings. I don't know like what other time works like on a regular basis to hang out.
And if stuff is going down, then it's going to happen whenever.
Yeah. So I don't know if I agree with that. I also feel like the fact that she knows about this friend and knows that he's going over there weekly, it's not like he's hiding that he's where he is or who he's with.
True.
Like, to me, it would be more suspicious if it was like she found out about this in some like word of mouth way, or happened upon it, like, oh, are you free on Wednesday? Oh, actually, I'm hanging out with so and so. Who's that? That would be more weird.
Right. Or he's like he says he's hanging out with his guy friends. Turns out he's going to this girl's apartment.
Yeah. So you know where he is, like when and where. And I feel like trying to restrict that, I don't know that it does anything.
No.
Like you said, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And in terms of like activities or like places to hang out, this was posted like today, this post, and we're still like kind of in a pandemic. Like, I don't know like necessarily I don't know where they are.
Right.
So I don't know how like open everything is. But like personally, I've been pretty much staying in. Even when I hang out with my friends, I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
So, and also financially, it's cheaper to stay in. Like, there's a lot of reasons people hang out in their apartments.
Right.
And if they are having topics, like serious conversation about serious things, I could also see that being like a reason to like have a talk inside rather than like going bowling.
Right. Or to a restaurant or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like, are you going to have an issue if they decide to go to a bar? Like, that's another place that people like can vent and like complain. But to me, you're already concerned. I don't know that a bar is less date-like than an apartment.
Yeah.
And I've definitely, this is the other thing with the like movies and alcohol thing. I've definitely like hung out with guy friends and like watched a movie in their bed while in relationships with other people, like, and nothing has ever happened because we're friends.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm also like, I'm bi, so then I'd have to limit like my female friends too. And
Can't see anyone.
I can't see anybody.
Animals.
Yeah. Yeah, so like if I hang out with my female friends too in their bed and we'll drink like wine and watch movies. But yeah, I
Can
don't
you
know.
start doing that in the daytime, please?
Yeah, exactly. I have a sleepover tomorrow with one of my girlfriends. I have to cancel.
No, you can do it during the day.
Oh, right.
Yeah, just sleep.
It's a nap.
Yeah,
It's
just take a nap together. Nap over.
Yeah, so that's the boyfriend. But in terms of defending the girl...
Well, hold on. I want to make one last point for the boyfriend. That they're meeting on a weekly basis, and it's been 2 months. So this has been 6 interactions.
Mm-hmm.
I can see those being long and interesting because relationships, but also friendships of all shapes and sizes have like a sparks phase.
There's a honeymoon phase for friendships.
Yeah. And so they're getting to know each other and they're finding similar interests, and it can be intimidating if you're in the 2-year relationship and you feel like you're stale versus this new exciting flame that this person has found. So I can see that being posed as an insecurity by the boyfriend as well. It's like, what the heck? Like, I've met with her a couple times. And sure, it's at her apartment, but that's the only place where she wants to talk, and I'm interested in talking more.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to add that point.
Right. Now, on the flip side, I do understand, like, if you've asked if the 3 of you can hang out, and he says no, that would be weird.
Yeah. Or he won't tell you the problems.
Which he isn't sharing.
Right, he's not sharing. That's
which I do feel like is weird. But I don't know if that's us. I think we are pretty open with each other. But at the same time, there are like a few things I wouldn't necessarily like share with you that friends have shared with me. But it is like weird that it would be like in the first 6 weeks type thing.
Right. That this is
like
something,
years of friendship.
Right. Something so deep that's been revealed for 6 weeks that you can't tell it to your significant other.
Yeah, and I also feel like in general, significant others, this could be a controversial statement, so let me know if you disagree in the comments, but I also feel like with significant others, there's kind of an expectation that they know like what's going on with your friends.
Right.
Like, especially when it's something so serious. I feel like everybody needs to talk through something with somebody else. So if your friend has something like super serious, like in this scenario, if his friend, the girl, is going through some like heavy stuff, he would also probably want to talk to somebody about the heavy stuff he's hearing, because it can be kind of overwhelming to hear a lot of heavy stuff.
Right.
And then he should be turning to the girlfriend.
It would be helpful to have more perspectives on the problem, but at the same time, I people can be out of touch with that like problem resolution. They'll go and they'll listen to the person, absorb it like a sponge, and then just keep it inside. So it might be that the boyfriend's out of touch with this kind of problem solving.
Yeah. Well, and I do think some people are more private than others.
Yeah.
But if it's different, like if it's significantly different than what he tells you about that friendship versus what he tells you about the other friends that he has, then I think it would be more of a cause for concern. But yeah, in general, I feel like I land more in support of the guy.
Yes.
But again, if he doesn't want to meet up with the 3 of you, that would be a distinct factor. That would change my opinion.
Yeah, they should meet. It's pretty weird that they haven't met.
Or maybe they have. I don't know. It's a Reddit post. You don't have all the information.
Well, did they reply to anything?
I'm not reading all the comments.
Just scroll down a little bit. You can tell when the OP responds.
These comments don't agree with us at all.
Well...
So the daytime thing that I said I think is unreasonable, they're like, this is such a reasonable request. I would not like you to do that.
No.
It would never work in our relationship.
No. And
like we both like are in communication with exes. Not all of our exes, but the ones that we're friendly with. So I don't know. I just have a different standard of thing. But maybe it's because maybe I'm too trusting. Are you cheating on me?
Well, I only hang out with my friends in the daytime. For that reason.
Yeah.
Preemptively.
Yeah, I don't see any of my friends at night. We never go out to the club.
I'd be way too tempted to cheat.
We don't go to the bar. We don't go out to dinner because it's basically a date. They can't come over and have pizza and watch a movie.
No. Well, at noon.
Yeah. Except in the winter, because it's dark at noon. This one says, yep, boyfriend thinks he gets trust, carte blanche. Sorry, dude, you do not need to be caught in the act to lose the trust of your partner.
It's 2 years.
Yeah, that's not carte blanche.
Yeah, that's...
Like, why are you with somebody for 2 years if you don't trust them?
Like,
presumably this is built up, like, trust. I don't know. We've both also done long distance, where it's impossible to follow up on stuff like this.
Right.
So, that's an exercise in trust. It's way easier to cheat if you're long distance.
Yep.
You just kind of have to trust that they're not, based on the trust that you've built over time. And 2 years is a good amount of time to develop some level of trust. If they only hang out in private because of her issues, what's the problem with meeting at daytime? Schedule.
There's nothing to do.
Or like there isn't an issue, but it's a stupid request.
Right.
That would be my issue. Is like, yeah, I can hang out with my friends in the daytime, but you shouldn't ask me to do that.
Right. Especially when what they like to do is drink and watch movies.
Right.
Those are not daytime activities.
Yeah.
Unless, then they've got new problems to discuss.
Right. Oh, she replied to that one. According to him, it's because they both only have time during the evenings because they study in the daytime. Semester break is approaching though, and he claims to be able to see her at daytime once our exams are over. However, he still doesn't want to agree to not seeing her at night because there may be times where they only have time in the evening again. That's a very reasonable reply. I'm sorry. I don't understand these other people.
I was thinking he might be a student.
Yeah, like, people study in the daytime. I don't know. People can study at night. I'm a night studier personally. But at the same time, like, that's not healthy. I have insomnia.
Plot thickens, he's not enrolled. Boyfriend says this.
So they're in school, right? They're at university together, and the girl lives 1 minute from him. I totally see that being a nighttime thing. My friend Scott and I, we hung out. We watched many a sunrise together because we would study like late into the evening and like talk while studying.
Yeah. And
we were both like, at the time, we were both insomniacs basically, and yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Every Lizzie McGuire needs a Gordo.
Yeah, exactly. And vice versa, because he's Gordo.
Yeah, he's the Gordo.
This one. He seems really shady. Please reconsider this relationship. You are too young to stay in this.
I've heard that our relationship responses can be a little toxic once in a while. Mostly they respond with, you need to break up. I
feel like that's dumb. Most of the time it's, you should communicate.
it's an easy social media response to just be like, because you're not involved and there's no stakes.
Right, and they haven't said anything positive about
Right.
why they've been together for 2 years.
Right. So it's really more like you want to move off of the idea, so you go to the ultimate solution, which is just to break up.
Well, I think what it is probably too, like, if you're putting your relationship on our relationship advice, you probably are posting like something that's bad, something that's bothering you, and you're probably, and even if you didn't and you tried to qualify it with I love this person, blah 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 blah, like, it's a lot easier for people to understand why something is a problem than to understand the good things about a relationship. You know, because like even if you put in a paragraph of like positive things about your partner, like, what are you gonna say? He brings me flowers. He
His smile is so charming.
He does the dishes.
Right. That's a good point too. I hadn't thought about that. There's like an inherent bias because you're bringing a problem to the table, but you're not saying anything nice
about the good things in a relationship.
Well, you might say some things here or there, but like...
Yeah. But like I said, even if you put like the good things and you try to make a list, it doesn't encompass how you actually feel.
Right.
And
nice.
So it's like, well, other people can do the dishes and bring you flowers and blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's not really what I'm trying to get at here, though. I'm trying to say I like this person.
Right.
So I think there's a bias. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our content, click subscribe, ding the bell button to know when we post. And if you want to give us things to react to from like our relationship advice or other type subreddits to hear our opinions, you can link those down below or put your own, and we will talk about you. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.